Hey, what's up, CKids? Thank you so much for joining us for our online experience. This week, we're going to be talking about Jesus and how we get to play a part in his story. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of The Loop Show.
This week on The Loop Show likes you.
Bones, stingrays, and biblical proof.
Hang on for the loop.
3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Oh my gosh, that scared me.
Excuse me, sorry. I'm Ricky.
I'm Jamie. Welcome to The Loop Show Likes You.
Did you know we like you?
I think they do. Do you?
Do you?
Do you?
Well, we do. We call this your show because The Loop Show Likes You is fueled by your postcards.
We should really shorten that to LSLY.
Totally. Here on the LSLY or Lissy, we get to know you, we get to try your challenges and answer your questions.
We asked you what's something that we should know about you.
Okay, so this says, I have 2 extra bones in my ring finger. How does one figure that out? It's what it says.
I think I have 4. I think 4. How many are you supposed to have in your ring finger?
3?
I don't know, man. Okay, I have one from Anna, and it says, I don't like chocolate. How can you not like chocolate, Anna? Chocolate's the
I'm
best.
so sorry.
Me too.
Or actually, maybe this is good. Maybe there are multiple Annas who make more chocolate for us.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Since Anna's not eating the chocolate, we get to eat the chocolate she's not eating.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, this one says, I know what you're doing and I know who you are and it won't work. That's Malachi. Malachi. Are you okay, Jamie?
Do you think they're watching us through that TV back there? That TV's always on and never playing anything.
Oh, Malachi, do you know
Wait a second.
about the TV?
Malachi? Malachi?
Okay, Malachi, you have, I need another card. I need to think about something else.
Okay, how about a pregnant stingray?
I'll take it.
I have kissed a pregnant stingray. Not me, but the Loop student. That's pretty cool. They look pretty slippery.
Wait a second. Stingray. Sting operate. Wait. Is this a message?
Wait,
I know what.
Malachi.
Malachi. All right, send us another letter, Malachi, because I think you might be onto something. The pregnant stingray. Stingray. Ray gun. Sugar Ray. Hit band in the early 2000s.
Hit band, and it's the lead singer is a man, so Hitman.
What did?
What do you even say after something like that?
I guess let's go to a clip.
I know the Bible is one of the most important and influential books of all time, but what is it exactly?
Yeah, some people talk about the Bible like it's a big rule book that fell out of heaven.
Other people use the Bible like a textbook written to answer all of our questions about God, or like a big collection of inspirational one-liners.
Here's the thing. The Bible isn't written as a rule book, or a theology dictionary, or even as a collection of inspirational writings.
Then what is the Bible?
Well, open up the Bible to page 1 and read the first few words.
In the beginning.
Now, turn to the last chapter of the Bible where you can read this.
And they reigned forever and ever. Okay, so the Bible is telling a story from beginning to end.
Yes, it's an epic narrative about how God has made humans his partners to take care of the amazing world he created. It's about how we ruined that partnership by rebelling against God and how he is restoring us and our world through Jesus.
So an awesome story, but there's a lot going on. Inside the Bible are a bunch of different books with their own stories and characters.
Here's what's so amazing. Every book has been designed to be a part of and enrich the overall storyline.
And knowing how to read the Bible helps us not to get lost.
There are also important themes repeated throughout the entire biblical story. A big theme in the Bible are the covenants or promises that God makes with people.
And the hope for a human hero who will defeat evil.
Every theme comes alive in the story of Jesus.
There are also a lot of strange words in the Bible. Words I don't really know.
When we take the time to understand those strange words, we discover ideas that help us understand the overall story of the Bible.
Reading the Bible takes work.
It's not a book that just gives you all the answers right away. The Bible takes you on a journey.
I love journeys.
The Bible is a work of literary genius, and the more we read and study God's Word, the more it changes the way we live and how we think about everything. The Bible is a one-of-a-kind book that will challenge you and change you.
And takes you on an epic journey.
If you're wanting to start reading the Bible, you should probably start in one of these 4 books from the New Testament: Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. They're all about Jesus' life, where he went, who he saw, what he did, miracles. Say I want to start in Luke. You're just gonna go over here to the books, scroll to which one you want, pick the chapter. You probably are gonna wanna start at the beginning of the chapter or else it might get a little confusing. But once you've read one of those, you can read the other 3, maybe read some more of the New Testament, some of the Old Testament. Don't worry, this isn't like a full-on Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter book. It's just like a short chapter book. And if you ever get to any confusing part, like this whole line of a family tree, Abraham was the father of Isaac, Obed was the father of Jesse, Jehoram was the father of Uzziah. I have no idea. Just ask yourself this question: how is what I'm reading pointing me to Jesus? Because I know there's a lot of confusing things that may seem really unnecessary in the Bible, but they're all there for a reason. If you really think about it, all the way at the beginning, it starts with Abraham, who's pretty important in the Bible. And if you scroll all the way down to Jesus, it kind of shows us he was human. He was a man. He had parents, and he had grandparents, and great-grandparents, and great-great-grandparents. I don't know what these little 3 text bubbles are. So basically, it's just the tips button. It'll show you descriptions or definitions, or if it was in the Old Testament, just kind of a little helpful guide, if you will. All these words are in red, so you can tell that Jesus said them. The Bible can help guide you, give you perspective, and surprise you. The words of Jesus give you a solid foundation.
Jamie, what's your favorite book of the Bible?
I like the book of James. Number 1, because I think it's really cool that James is Jesus' brother. I just think that's awesome. Yeah, and you know how sometimes like you talk like your siblings? So sometimes when I'm reading the Bible, I also think that James is reflecting how Jesus talks too. I mean, I know we hear him in the Bible too, but it's just a different brotherly perspective.
I've never looked at it that way.
Yeah, so that's number 1. But the other reason that I really like it is because it's a really encouraging book, because James is writing to people who are going through a really hard time. So whenever I'm going through a hard time, it encourages me.
That's nice.
Yeah, how about you?
I'd have to say the book of Romans, because it's basically a book that tells you like how to be a Christian and how great God's love is. And I really like it. Every time I read it, it feels like I'm finding something new and also something very convicting. So I like it.
That's good. That's important to find things that are convicting too.
Yeah.
Love it.
And as you can see, the Wheel of Cards is here today.
Woo! So these are your challenges, and we're gonna spin the wheel and pick one and then complete it today.
Now I'm a little nervous because one of those cards suggested that we throw our phones off the roof.
What? That's intense. Is it on here?
Only one way to find out. Spin that wheel!
Spinning, 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 spinning. Done. All right, this one? Okay, great. Oh no, I broke
What
the
have you
wheel.
done?
Okay, it says blindfolded face painting challenge. Yay!
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Oh my.
All right.
Oh,
look. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to face paint each other's faces with one of these lovely little designs.
looks like a vampire spider. It's not even just a spider, but it's a spider with teeth that look like a vampire.
Yeah, and that looks like a vampire balloon.
Okay.
All right, so.
I'm gonna be blindfolded and I'm gonna be painting it on his face. That's the plan.
So I'm gonna take my
Right?
glasses.
Yes. Okay.
Jimmy's memorizing her color palette.
I am. I'm trying. Did the timer go? Oh, okay.
No.
Now? Did you say no? Did you say now?
Time starts now.
Okay, where's your face?
Right there.
All right, so do you guys want to guess what I'm doing, or do you want? Where's your eyebrow?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, go around the eyebrow. Oh, was that too close to your eye? Okay, I think that this is green, and so I'm gonna do some grass.
Wait,
Some grass. Okay, so I did some wings above, and now I need to do some wings below. Where's your nose? Found it. Okay, because there's the body. but I hope that's the red. Okay, because I need to really solidify the wings.
Oh man, there's like there it goes. There's like a trail, paint trail.
And then the other wing. Did I get the wing?
We'll see.
Okay, I'm not sure I have it.
How do I look?
Oh, I do. Oh, it looks like somebody squirted mustard and ketchup all over your face.
Oh, good.
Oh, how did I get on your ear? That's funny.
How did it get, what?
Oh, thank you. You want to take a look at what you look like?
Yeah, sure. Oh, boy.
Yes.
Look at that.
Okay, give me like 30 more seconds and it could have been clearly a butterfly.
This is a statement.
This was still really fun though, even though it's not quite a butterfly.
Okay, Jamie, get ready. Okay, all right. That is definitely paint.
It's actually scarier being on this side because you can see
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Okay, let's see. All right, great. All right,
Okay.
okay, good.
Oh, using your hand as a, oh.
So what we're gonna do, Jamie, is we're gonna
Yes.
make a happy little rainbow.
Oh,
This
okay.
rainbow is gonna be in the sky. It's gonna have a nice little, you know, God's promise.
Into my mouth.
God's promise and everything. It's
Oh my gosh.
it just got done raining. You know what else happens after rain?
No.
Rain, but you know what? I like rain because we get flowers.
Do you always paint in a southern accent?
Flowers get the water that they need. God provides. God provides. I'm assuming that's yellow because that's gonna be the sun. That little sun. So what we have is we have a sun, we have a rainbow, and we have a nice little red balloon right here.
It tickles.
Just floating up into the sky. And then we're just gonna have that little balloon just have a nice little trail right down there. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add just a couple of little happy little elements. We're just gonna create the world as a whole right there. And that is what art is made of.
Thank you.
God's plan right here. Let's see. Let's take a look.
Don't I look great?
JB, you look wonderful.
Let's take a look.
Okay, this is actually much, like even with where I thought the colors were, this is way more difficult than it looks, especially when you are blindfolded.
I think so too.
But it's a ton of fun.
Yeah, I really like it.
I like the spirit of what I was going for.
Absolutely, especially this over here, the blending that you did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Monet is what it reads to me.
Oh, very nice.
You ever seen lily pads? Doesn't look just like that. So that was a super fun challenge. Thank you for suggesting it.
We love your challenges on the Luke Show Likes You, but we also love your questions. And I have to warn you, this question is it's capital B big.
Okay, here we go. How do we have proof that everyone in the Bible existed? Great
ready?
question.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Okay, so here is the question. How do we know that everybody in the Bible actually existed? It's a great question. You know, it really is. But before we answer that question, let's ask the question, what is the Bible? Is the Bible a rule book? Because a lot of people like to look at it like that. It tells you all the things you can and cannot do. Is the Bible a textbook? Does it have the answers to science and history and math and everything? Some people like to look at it like that. And other people like to look at it as just a collection of good things to read when you're feeling bad. Is it that? I think that there is a piece of every single one of those. I think that the Bible tells us things about science and things about history that are important and true, by the way. I think that the Bible does give us rules that we should and should not follow. And I think the Bible does tell us things that are really good to read on a day that you're not feeling too great. But I don't think the Bible is any just one of those things. I don't think it's just a rule book. I don't think it's just, I don't think it's just a textbook, and I don't think it's just a collection of inspiring quotes. What I like to think about the Bible, and I think a lot of people like to think about the Bible is that it's a storybook. The storybook that leads us to who Jesus was, and that's really cool, right? So when we see the Bible like this, what happens is we can actually begin to see and feel God transforming us to be the person that God intended us to be. It's like, kind of like, let's say you go to your arts, let's say you go to your arts and crafts class and you make yourself a cup, right? So you make yourself a cup and you take it home and you sit it on a shelf and it sits there. And it sits there and it sits there and it does nothing. Did that cup live to its full potential? No, it didn't. But you take that cup and you fill it up with water and you take a sip from it. You know, that cup was used exactly how it was supposed to be. And that's kind of what I'm talking about when I say that, where we can feel God forming and transforming us into the person that he created us to be. So, anyways, let's get back to the main question. How do we know that the people in the Bible actually existed? Well, the bottom line is we can't. There were no cell phones. There were no video cameras. For a lot of the time, there was no written record. There was no written language that we know of. So we can't actually know that those people actually existed. It's hard to say that they did exist. But what we can do is we can look at the evidence. And when we look at the historical evidence, I'm going to move the camera real quick. When we look at the historical evidence, we can tell that many of the things that were told to have happened in the Bible, as well as many of the people that did exist in the Bible, actually did exist based on historical evidence, right? So, like, what is most important about the Bible is not did that person that was written about in one verse of the Bible way back when in Genesis actually exist. That's not really what's important, right? What's important is the fact that Jesus lived. And every historical scholar can agree with us that Jesus did live and Jesus did die. Okay? But the question is not, did he live and die? The question is he God? And we can know that by the way that he lifted himself from the grave to be alive. He was dead and then he was alive. That's what sets Jesus apart. And the question is, did he do that? The problem is that a lot of people say no. But there's a lot of people in the Bible that say yes. You know? So, for example, Luke. Luke was one of the 12 disciples. And by disciples, I essentially mean best friend. Jesus had 12 best friends, and Luke was one of them. Luke, before starting to leave his job and following Jesus, was a doctor. Imagine trying to convince a doctor today that you were dead and now you are alive. It'd be pretty difficult, right? It'd be really difficult. But somehow Jesus was able to do that to a doctor. Jesus was able to get a doctor to write a book that said Jesus was dead, and he was dead for 3 days, then he was alive. Now, let's say that's not good enough, right? Then we've got this guy, James. James was not one of the 12 disciples. James was Jesus' brother. And James also was not a Christian, was not a follower of Jesus in any way until after Jesus died. Now imagine trying to convince your brother or sister that you were the Son of God and that even though you died, you should still, like that, your brother and sister should still follow you. Somehow, Jesus was able to do that to James. Now, there was another guy, his name was Paul. Paul, he hated Jesus. Not only did he hate Jesus, he hated all of Jesus' friends and all of Jesus' fans. And he went as far as to go out and torture and kill these people. Paul was a pastor. And he was out there killing people because he legitimately believed that Jesus was not the Son of God. And all of a sudden he starts planting churches in Jesus' name and writing books saying that Jesus is Lord. How does that happen? Well, maybe Jesus actually did rise from the dead. You know, there's lots of stories like that throughout the Bible, throughout history, of people who maybe didn't follow Jesus, maybe people that did follow Jesus, that, you know, all of a sudden are telling people that Jesus is alive, he's back from the dead, And it's like, how do you convince hundreds and thousands of people after you've died that you've actually come back from the dead? Everyone believes that Jesus existed. But then the question is, did Jesus rise from the dead? And I would say that there's enough evidence to say that Jesus did, in fact, rise from the dead. So, now that we've answered that question, the question is, who is Jesus to you? That question is the question that changes everything.
Did you know that there are official Loop Show Bible plans on the YouVersion Bible app?
If you don't know what a Bible plan is, it's a mix of clips, verses, challenges, and prayers designed specifically for you.
So if you have a phone or a tablet or a computer, ask if you can download the YouVersion Bible app.
And start a Bible plan today.
Also, if you have a challenge or a question, or if there's something we should know about you, let us know.
Yes, send us a postcard. We'd love to hear from you.
The Loop Show likes you.
Say it loud. Enjoy the ride! So we were categorizing these alphabetically or chronologically?
Absolutely. I already have it alphabetized.
Oh, okay.
The Bible helps us build a strong foundation. It's a story from God to us. It's God inviting us into the most incredible story ever told. I want to challenge you with this. Who is Jesus to you? Not who your parents told you he was, or not even who your Connect Group leader told you he was, but who is he to you? I want you to think about that while I pray for us. God, thank you for inviting us to be a part of your story. God, thank you that you are good, Lord God, and thank you for your word that we get to learn so much from. God, I pray that we would learn who you are. Jesus, that you would make yourself clear to us, God, that we would see you in a different way. Lord, would you show yourself to us today? For all this in your name. Amen. Thank you guys so much again for joining us for our online experience, and I can't wait to see you next week.
What's up, CKids? Mr. Mike here with a quick announcement for you guys. We miss seeing you, and so we've decided to create video hangouts so that our elementary school students can hang out with each other and hang out with their leaders. At 11 o'clock every Sunday, you guys are going to have the opportunity to jump on a call and see all your friends and see your leaders. Make sure you guys check out the link that was sent to your parents' email. We'll see you at 11 o'clock.